And thank you for all your help with Real Bedford.
Do you know what? I've got so much FOMO though, man, because I've moved from London to Miami and being able to see you guys like celebrate and stuff in person. I'm not going to lie, it brings a tears to my eyes not to be there. Like that first trophy, those first 2 trophies, like seeing the lads, what they've been able to achieve this year. Because I mean, the journey started last year. I was playing for the team and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And to see where it's gone on, it's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's just getting started as well. Like most people don't know, it's just getting started. And for me to bring the football and the Bitcoin together, it's like, if you would have told me 5, 6, 7 years ago, would this be my career? I'd be like, what are you on about? Like, I just, you know.
Well, you were there from the start, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Was it Steve Lee got in touch?
Yeah. As soon as you like tweeted about you're buying a football club, I was like, I've still got a bit of legs in me. Like whether I'm participating on the field or off the field with the Bitcoin stuff, I'm like, I need to be involved somehow, you know. So.
Well, he got in touch. He said you got to meet Conor Okus, and I googled you. I'm like, what? West Ham? All right, having himself. And then was it me and Conor met you and? Met you down in London?
Yeah. So we went for before the Tottenham vs Liverpool game. I came with my friend Abs. We just sat down, had a coffee in Edmonton. Yeah. Good old Edmonton. And just discussing football, your plans, like how we can help.
You got it from the start, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, and you're the only player who played for us who's got paid in Bitcoin.
I know, right? So I go down in history.
Yeah, so
to some degree, right? So
people are like, are the players getting paid in Bitcoin? I'm like, they don't give a fuck about Bitcoin. That's not true, actually. Now
but
they're
they
asking.
Should though.
I know that.
We need to sit them down and be like, lads, even if it's a 10%, 20% of like, start thinking about it. Yeah,
90 asked me about it.
Okay,
yeah, 90's buying Bitcoin, and I think he's buying some shit coins as well. But a couple of them asked, what we're gonna do this year? We're gonna do the tipping during a game.
Okay. Yeah,
so if a player scores, I mean, it favors the goal scorers, or man of the match, but we're going to flash up QR codes and tip the players. I think that's going to be cool.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
I don't think I think when I first announced it, nobody got it. I think some people like football kind of get it, but I still think a lot of people like, you know, right now there'll be people listening going, what the fuck are you talking about football for? Talk about Bitcoin. I don't think they fully they don't grok what we're trying to do here. How would you explain it to a Bitcoiner who doesn't give a shit about football?
No, to be honest, like the Bitcoin is very much secondary to what you're trying to do anyway. Like when you come down to the club, if you're not a Bitcoin or into Bitcoin, you probably wouldn't even really notice that there's a lot of Bitcoin initiatives underpinning what the football club are doing. So from that perspective, it's just a grassroots football club trying to do the right things, grow the community, move up the leagues in, you know, a sustainable fashion. It just so happens that Bitcoin is being used in a number of different ways, from like a treasury reserve asset to, you know, helping the community understand how they can accept Bitcoin, to educational efforts. So, you know, Bitcoin represents like a secondary part of the football club. It is a football club first and foremost.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're trying to do, right? But, you know, some big people in the Bitcoin space who can help with sponsorships and help get the word out. And we're kind of leveraging the fact that Bitcoin is a grassroots movement. The club you've acquired so happens to be at the very grassroots of football. The two are kind of merging. You get to leverage this kind of worldwide fan base as well. I know you mentioned it a few times as well, how you could kind of compare it to like the El Salvador and it being like very much an underdog as well. So Bitcoiners are kind of attracted to the story of Real Bedford as well.
Yeah, what I've said to people is like, when people are like, oh, I want to do something with Bitcoin, I want to get into Bitcoin, it's like, bring it into what you know, do or know.
Yeah.
Michael Peterson brought it into a community in El Salvador where he was trying to help kids. He was on a mission.
Yeah.
He's trying to help kids get away from gangs. He brought Bitcoin into that. In Austin, they've created the Bitcoin Commons for local business to use it. Perth Heat, they brought it into their baseball team.
Oh, yeah.
I brought it into a football team. Someone can do a rugby team. You can find a young swimmer. You can sponsor them. You can bring Bitcoin into anything you're doing and just make it part of it. But what I think always happens is like if you bring Bitcoin into what you do, every 4 years, you have a competitive advantage in everyone else. You just have that thing that clicks through.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also a hack.
Yeah.
You have this global community to tap into. I got all the people who like football who like Bitcoin. They're like, Real Bedford, that's my team.
Literally. And just culturally as well. I mean, like if you can go to a game and you can pay for your beer in Bitcoin or pay for your tea in Bitcoin, it's a way of introducing people to Bitcoin without forcing it down their throats.
Yeah.
So when you start seeing music merge with Bitcoin, sports merge with Bitcoin, all of these different avenues, it kind of just becomes part of the norm slowly but surely, and people don't really realize it. And in 10 years, 15 years, of course, like when I'm traveling from El Salvador to Bedford to watch a game, I don't need British pounds. I just,
Turn up with my Bitcoin.
Top up with my Bitcoin, go to watch a game, buy a tea, beer, whatever, and it's just normal, So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually think we're going to get in the Premier League. I think they're convinced. Like, so
I don't realize how tough it is.
No.
Do you know, I'm watching like Man City and thinking, football's kicked on as well, man. Like you really need a lot of money to compete at the highest of levels now. And whether or not we'll have that war chest come 15, 20 years from now, like hopefully Bitcoin does what we think it might do price-wise. And that represents like a hefty sum of money to spend on players, stadiums, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, football need a lot of money to compete at the highest level now.
Yeah, but
maybe not even the highest level. Even look at Wrexham. I was watching Wrexham the other day. I'm like,
well, their wage bill must have been 2.5, 3 million quid.
I'm like, oh, this is Conference League football. When I was playing football like 10 years ago, like conference was seen as like, if you was playing in a conference, you was on like a couple £100 a week. Now players are getting a couple grand a week to play 4th, 5th tier English football.
Hold on, isn't Mullin on like 8-10 grand a week or something?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but also I think they'll go straight up again.
Yeah,
because I think League Two is kind of a dip down. The top of League Two is not as competitive as the top of the conference.
No. Yeah, you see a lot of teams getting back-to-back promotions that do Conference League 2. Even League 1 it starts getting, but it can be done. But League 1 onwards, it starts getting a bit more difficult, I think.
I think Wrexham will be in the Premier League within a decade. If they stay interested and keep pushing it, they've got the local support. They can build out the stadium.
Yeah,
they've got commercial interest that was driving forward. I think they can do it. I think of us as the small version of them. Our competitive advantage is whatever's in our treasury, every 4 years, it might do a 5x.
Yeah.
So say we had 1 million in there, it could be 5 million, then 25 million and so on.
Yeah.
And so like in 20 years, maybe we are in the Football League trying to get in the Championship.
Yeah.
We could be in a better financial position from them, but we also have this global community. So
yeah. How are you managing trying to like, even just the financial side, just to make sure the club stays sensible and doesn't, overdo it on the finance side? Because even a couple of leagues above where we're at, clubs are paying players silly money. Like, how are you thinking about managing?
You just have a budget.
Yeah.
I've written the budget. Yeah. My goal every year is to have, it's not necessarily to have the biggest budget, but it's to have a budget that can put you in contention for promotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got to be able to have a go. I don't want to sit around and it might change. We might, if we get step 3 or step 2, it might be like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got to breathe for a bit and breathe for a year or two.
Yeah.
But momentum is super important. Building this story is super important. Engaging with sponsors is super important. But it's just a business, Conor. It's like, okay, all the successful clubs out there who haven't just got a chairman throwing money in, how do they do it? They're a well-run business.
Yeah.
So they have big crowds.
Yeah.
They have good sponsors, and then they have revenue lines outside of the club. So, for example, I'm thinking ahead and I'm thinking what I need an academy. I need 3G pitches for the players to train on, and then that can be rented out. I need youth football and parents coming along. I need a gym that I can have
online media presence, streaming.
Online media, yeah. But I think sponsoring us now. So if you look at the teams you can sponsor in the non-league, I think we're, in terms of awareness, forget Wrexham, but I would say we are comparable to most non-league teams, if not more. I mean,
in terms of awareness,
I think in terms of awareness, look at like a Boreham Wood. Right? Okay. They're known in England, right? But outside of the playoffs,
okay.
Outside of the playoffs, who's paying attention to them? They get a bit of attention because Arsenal ladies play there, and they're a great run club. I use them as an example because I look at them as where I want to be.
Okay,
but I also think, well, if you sponsor us, we've got this whole awareness with a whole other community. You've got people, we've got the BBC writing about us. So any other team in step 5, 4, 3, we're a way better prospect to sponsor.
Yeah.
So we got
arguably like hashtag as well, though. They've
Hashtag's another one, actually, and they've done a good job.
Yeah.
And
Are they the fan token NFT club?
no, that's Cordy Town.
no.
Oh, yeah,
That's we'll talk about them. That's this is the perfect Bitcoin v shitcoin. No, hashtag is what's his name? Spencer. Yeah, he's like a huge, super successful YouTuber.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Started this team hashtag. They're doing well. I mean, did they just win step 4? I think
They did.
And they smashed it. They've gone up to step 3.
And they started off as a online gaming team, I believe.
Yeah.
So they don't have a physical location. And from what I understand, they chose somewhere in North London as their home ground. I forget the name of the club now. Haringey Borough as their home ground. So I think they've even got like a bit of flexibility to change where their like home location is and stuff like that.
So that's their. I talked to Spencer about this. I think that's their only downside is you see their name, you go, well, where are you?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're Bedford. People know we're Bedford. It's people have a place to go. Yeah, they have a location to wear and a thing to get behind. But what they have that other people don't, wherever they go for an away game, all the people who like hashtag or like Spencer or like their e-gamer platform come and watch them. We had their ladies play, our ladies in the FA Cup.
Okay.
We had a bunch of these e-gaming nerds could turn up and their hashtag tops. They love it.
That's very cool.
Yes, but there is this new wave of teams that are doing a bit different, like us, them.
There's even Sunday League teams that I've got a following now, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've heard of Beatty's squad. They're like a Sunday team, and they won like the Sunday League version of the FA Cup. And they've got like hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube and stuff. It reminds me of like when I was young and I used to watch Rentford Rejects.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've
I
ever
remember
seen
that. Yeah.
Rentford Rejects.
It was like a kids' TV show.
on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Rentford Rejects was like this five-a-side team that were like so many different characters, and they just used to go around playing Sunday football. But they've got some really good players that they take from non-league and they play Sunday football, and it's more of it's almost like reality TV football in a way. So it's more on the entertainment side. But there are so many different avenues now that football's going in. And
Dorking have done it well with their,
what's
it? What's the name of their YouTube? Bunch of something or others?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name though, yeah.
They've had the most promotions of any team. They started at the bottom of Sunday League, went all the way up through Sunday League, Saturday League, and now they're in the conference. And
That's very cool.
The chairman the chairman is the manager. It's been all the way through. He's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think the Jersey Devils, or what they call Jersey something, have done well. But the truth is, if there is a hack now. If you create a team around an idea rather than a town, you can be more competitive. And I think some teams are going to struggle.
But uniquely, maybe in England, Europe, like I've watched a couple of games here in the States, and I don't know, it's a different vibe. Like my friend Paco Craig, he's the captain of Miami FC, so I went to watch him and versus Inter Miami in their like version of the FA Cup, I guess. One, like the atmosphere is not the same. Two, the standard of football isn't as good as I thought it would be. I actually thought the MLS has come on a lot more than it has. Maybe it was just those two teams.
Do you know why that is? Because whenever you saw the MLS, you saw highlights, and they've got some amazing players, and they'll like you'll see Ibrahimovic do something incredible, or a Rooney, and you're like, I think it's like an 11-a-side version of 5-a-side.
Yeah, it's just a completely, like, they don't have relegation, promotion, like the whole franchise system. I don't know, the knock-on effects it has for the quality of the football, how fans actually, patronize their teams and stuff. It's just a completely different vibe, So I'm thankful for what we have back home,
Yeah, it's but it's a great opportunity, and I think, you said how we're going to manage the money. We're trying to be sustainable, but we're running it like a startup. We're over-invested. We've got to spend $280,000 this summer. We've got to put in new floodlights, new perimeter defense, 2 new stands. There's a whole bunch of stuff we do. It's expensive, and if we didn't have the backing of the Bitcoin community and sponsors, we wouldn't be able to get promoted because we wouldn't get our ground grading. It's a lot of pressure. The ladies, I can tell you this because this is going to come out for a while. So Bedford girls and ladies are going to become Real Bedford ladies next season.
Oh, awesome.
So we've got 250 girls and ladies playing under the Real Bedford brand next season. So that's going to be cool.
Nice.
And we need to do the same on boys football. But no, I think we've just got to build the revenue and make sure we don't overspend, leave some money in the bank if things get tough, and just keep telling that story and build a community in Bedford. And I think we've had a good first year.
When Royal Bedford versus El Salvador national team, but that's what I want to know. But that would be a vibe.
They would kick our. I think they'd kick our ass right now. Like they're pros. I don't know what level that would be. Would a championship side give them a good a game, or a League One side?
Yeah, I reckon Championship League One. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can't knock over that much in Crawley Town because that's who you asked about. Yeah. So that's the shitcoin team.
But that's the difference between.
Wasn't it Barnsley?
No, it's Crawley. No, Barnsley nearly took the Hex sponsorship, and then everyone went mental at them, and they stopped it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
No, Crawley Town was essentially bought by a shitcoin version of like me. He's this guy's made all his money on NFTs. He said he's going to get them in the Premier League. Yeah. He said the same stuff, right? Yeah. But the difference was he forced the crypto down their throats. Like all we do is have a meetup. You can come if you want, and that's it. Yeah. He was like selling NFTs to the fans, which obviously didn't make any money. Crazy. Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing. He kept sacking managers. Then he went in the dugout and was in the dugout. What? Yeah, so you can't do that shit.
No.
They just avoided relegation. Did they finish third from bottom?
I'm not sure, but that's the difference between a grift and just community movement, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're not asking for anything from anyone.
Yeah,
no. It's just come along and support the club.
Yeah, but he's an American coming into English football,
so he doesn't get the culture around football. Yeah.
And I didn't get the culture of non-league, by the way. I didn't understand it until this.
What's been the biggest surprise though?
Biggest surprise? That's a good question.
What did you think it was? I guess.
Well, I didn't realize how much you need volunteers to support it. Okay, it's a really important part of it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much the next door neighbours would see us as a rivalry and shit they would give us.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't realize how much pressure it would be once it gets going. I mean, at one point we're 12 points clear, and I'm but if we lose that and they win that, we can fuck this up.
Yeah.
It's like winning leagues is. Have you won a league?
No.
It's hard.
It's hard, man.
It's really, really hard. And hard. People talk about the money we've spent.
Do you know why it's hard at non-league as well? Because the players are part-time.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, non-league footballers typically have a full-time job and they'll be playing football on the side or part-time. So they'll train twice a week, sometimes once a week, and have a game on a Saturday or a Tuesday. So some, at our level, a lot of players are not actually paid. And so as a manager or a coach, if someone says they've got to go to work on a Tuesday night because that's how they feed their family, you can't tell them, no, you need to come and play for me. And so as a manager at that level, you've got to deal with managing players' work commitments, kids and all of that kind of stuff, you know, if you're not paying them significant amounts to offset the money they'd make working, for example.
And sometimes they miss because there's a wedding. They go to a wedding.
Yeah.
You're not at that level. They can go, can't.
Because the players typically are not on contracts.
Yeah.
It's a non-contract basis. So if someone says, I'm going on holiday, as a manager, you're kind of like...
Well, that's where all the credit goes to Rob Sinclair, the manager. He got them down and said, this is the goal.
Yeah.
And we had just this relentless approach to winning, doing everything right. Yeah. Everything behind the scenes we did. We tried to do it, the website, the season tickets, the refreshments for the players. Every single thing we did, we tried to do the best we can, the programs. And it was a lot of work. And, we go again now.
I guess as well, seeing the non-league and seeing how... in certain instances, it's so non-professional. It's there's so much room for us to set a standard of how things should be done as well.
Well, I think that's what bothers the neighbours, Bedford Town. Some people there, oh God, they won't be listening to this. I hope not. Maybe that Mark Stevenson will be stalks me. But is that they've had a monopoly on football in Bedford for a long time because they're the bigger team.
Yeah,
they've got the crowds and they've done a great job. But we've come in with a new plan that's different from theirs.
Yeah.
It's more competitive, and so it's a threat to them. But the truth is, we're doing things that, even if they fucking hate us, they can at least go, wow, they're good at their marketing, they're good at their branding, what they've done with women's football is great. Yeah, you have to at least appreciate what we're trying to do, and it's going to suck for them.
They're bringing people to Bedford who have really no reason to come to Bedford. To be honest, was it late last year or maybe early this year? We had people from Czechoslovakia.
Slovakia. We had 12 guys flying from Slovakia
to come and watch a Bedford game. I mean, I don't know if that's happened before, I'll be honest.
I doubt it. I'm not sure. But last game, we had a handful from the US. We had probably 15 to 20 people who flew in for that game. maybe more, but they're staying at the local hotels.
Yeah.
They're spending money in the local shops. It's good for Bedford. And Bedford is like a micro version of Wrexham. Wrexham is on the global map now. This little Welsh town, well, not little, but this Welsh town, which it's been through its tough times, both with the football and the economy, is on the map. They have Hollywood stars coming to Wrexham to watch football matches. It's great for them. We are like a micro version of that. We have, I don't want to say Bitcoin stars, but you know what I mean? We have Bitcoiners coming to Bedford, spending money. Bedford's on the map. And so, what my biggest surprise is? God, this might get me in trouble. How hard the football authorities make things for people unnecessarily.
Okay.
Difficult.
A lot of bureaucracy. This kind of old school mentality.
Yeah. This is the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
I don't care. The administration of the systems, that's been a surprise. And we've felt a pushback against us. Like we stream the games. Well, they had to have
because it's a bit more flashy, especially at this level.
Yeah.
Like what is it, step 6?
It was
step 6, step 5.
Yeah.
Next year.
But streaming the games, they had to have a whole new set of policies written for streaming the games.
Oh, really?
They got there. That was surprising, and also actually how hostile other clubs are to you. They're really hostile. Like we're nice, we treat people well, but they're hostile towards us.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily.
It just makes winning that more sweeter, I guess,
it does.
sometimes.